happens is that you don't know you have a story till you tell your story, and sometimes we have to sift through and distill down and drill down to get to the essential thing, you know. And I think these guys, when they told their story in front of 800 people, had standing room and sitting room, and everybody's on the floor, and it really was packed. They saw the truth of who they are, I think, and then people recognize that and return them to themselves. A lot of times, though, we get convoluted, long-ass kind of messages, and we don't know how to sift through. And what's the kernel? What's the kernel of truth? You know, what's the essential thing? It's a little bit like the gospel. Like last week, it was a long, complicated gospel, a parable about a landlord and a vineyard and wine press and tenants and servants and the son. They kill the son, they beat him. It's complicated and hard to figure out. What's the kernel? What's the truth that you want to get at? And it reminded me of a time once when I went with a couple of homies and a homegirl to speak at Pepperdine, and Lefty was in the front seat, and I get to the security guard, and I said, "I'm Father Greg Boyle. I'm going to speak at in the gym. Could you tell me how to get to the gym?" Well, he launches into the most complicated, convoluted, long-ass directions I've ever heard in my life. You know, go 3 stops and go around the fountain, and then you make a left, and you go over around the Fine Arts building, and then you go down again, and you have to go past that statue, and then you make another left to go around the park, and it went on and on and on forever. And so then I said, "Thank you very much," and I turned to Lefty and I said, "Hey, Doc, did you get that?" And he looked at me and he said, "Something about a left." And that's the way it is sometimes. We hear these convoluted messages. We think, am I my record? Am I the worst thing that I ever did? Am I my mistakes? And the truth is, something about a left. You get to the kernel, the main thing. I remember years ago when 2 homies came out of Youth Authority, in those days, a long time ago, they got no clothes. I said, "Well, let's go," and I had a credit card at JCPenney's, and I maxed it out, and I'd say, now I'd maybe give a gift card, but in those days I'd say, "Hey, come, let's go get what you need. You each have $200, so I go to it, go buy the clothes you need." And they looked at me, "Aren't you going to come with us?" And I was there in the store, but I said, "Go buy what you need." I said, "Go ahead, you can buy whatever you need." "No, come with us." I said, "Why?" I said, "We're used to being supervised." So I went with them, you know, probably a good thing, you know, because they were going straight for the size 85 waist dickies, you know. The doctors are over here, you know, size 28 waist. So anyway, we go back into the line, and there are a bunch of people ahead of us, a bunch of people behind us. Their arms are filled with clothes. The 2 ladies are ringing up people, and one of the homies, Rogelio, says, "Hey, I got to go get a belt." I said, "Hold that thing." So I grab his stuff, and he goes over to the belt. It's not too far from us. And he's kind of going like this, and he's going like this, and I'm going, and we're moving up the line. I'm going, "Apúrate, cabrón." You know, and finally he looks over at us, and he puts the belt. He goes, "What do you think?" And I'm about to tell him what I think. When Lencho, the other guy with me, looks at him in perfect King's English, he says, "You look splendid." I go, "Splendid?" And the 2 ladies behind the counter, "Splendid." And every damn buddy in the line goes, "Splendid?" And he goes, "I don't know, I heard it on TV once." Well, I don't know. Something about a left. You know, in the end, you want to distill down the truth of who you are. And as I think Quavi and Mario found out in front of 800 people and all day long at Gonzaga University, they are not their records. They aren't the mistakes. They aren't their prison time. They and you are splendid. That's the truth. That's what you want to cling to. That's what we want to return to you, and that's what we return to each other. You are splendid.